Spread a little aloha around the world.
Aloha, Norm and Frank. Hope you and your family are well. While we're here to celebrate the IEEE milestone honor for ALOHAnet and the 50th anniversary of ALOHAnet going live in June of 1971, we also wanted to take this time and send you this video to say a simple mahalo. Mahalo for your contributions to ALOHAnet. But our gratitude goes far beyond that. While your brilliance may have helped to change the world, your commitment and your compassion for the many students you touched are far more profound than anyone can know. Through this video, we wanted to allow a few of those folks to have an opportunity to share their stories and their aloha with you through this virtual gift. For me, it is simply unbelievable that I can say I work for the college that I think most would agree gave birth to our modern way of life, where things like the internet, cell phones, and Wi-Fi are just taken for granted by our youth today as if it had always existed. And the cool thing about all of this is that during these very different times of COVID-19, we as a university or anyone else would not be able to teach remotely, or businesses could not exist without this virtual technology. This IEEE milestone is a long and well-deserved honor and long overdue. And the Aloha Protocol is something so complex, especially back then. But the way you folks explain it is in such simple terms to the point where even a soils engineer like me can understand. But as you will hear from some of your friends on this video and your colleagues, more important than the technical achievements is the fact that you and your families are just such good people. Norm and Joan, you invited me into your home last October, and we visited for maybe 45 minutes or so. But the way you welcomed me felt like we had always been longtime friends. And the same was true the first time I met Frank this past January. In our subsequent conversations, whether it was on Zoom or on the phone or even in an email, I have truly come to appreciate you inviting me into your worlds. Mahalo again for that. And again, congratulations on this long-deserved recognition. Aloha, Norm and Frank.
Aloha, Norm and Frank. I'm honored to be part of the celebration of ALOHAnet and your remarkable accomplishments here at UH. Frank and I have crossed paths a few times, and I certainly knew his name, but he had left Hawaii before I arrived. That said, we both earned some degrees at the University of Illinois, and we were both connected to the Plato Project there and Don Bitzer. In fact, it was my work with Plato and Urbana that brought me to Hawaii for a one-year half-time contract in 1977. After a year in Paradise, I expected to return to finish a PhD in computer science there. That obviously didn't happen, and some days I feel like I'm reliving Gilligan's Island. They set off on a 3-hour tour, and for me, my 1 year has now gone to 43 years and counting. Norm was an icon, at least in my circles when I got to Hawaii. I worked in the UH Computing Center under Walter Yee, who was responsible for some of the computer resources connected via ALOHAnet. Walter was always interested in communications, and I followed suit. Being who I am, I also took advantage of the opportunity to enroll in a number of interesting classes as a UH employee. My hula classes shaped me in many ways, but that's a story for another day. I also signed up for a class with Norm. The class was scheduled late in the afternoon, perhaps 4:30, and Norm was prepared every day with high-quality 35mm slides of his content. So the lights were dimmed in the classroom so that students could see. Pretty risky for a room full of students that late in the day, but I remembered that Norm was so compelling that few naps were taken. It was pretty routine for me to receive questions from colleagues on the mainland about whether ALOHAnet was still running. I had to report that, sadly, it was not. But I was always proud to share that I had the good fortune to take a class and learn about the Aloha protocols and the project from a father of it all. I also remember that I got an A, but the records never made it to our student information system, so that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So my deepest mahalo to Norm and to Frank for what you did here at UH for our university and the world. You put us on the map with leadership position in networking that carries on today in some other ways through other projects. Aloha.
Hi, I'm Charlie Bass. I was a graduate student at the University of Hawaii from 1968 to 1972. And I'm happy to participate in the 50th anniversary of the ALOHAnet and the recognition by the IEEE for its Milestone Award. Norm and Frank, it was a major accomplishment to secure ARPANET funding and become a part of ARPANET for this project. This elevated the university into the first tier of research institutions and provided added awareness and validation to what you were doing. And in particular, the Aloha protocol, which is deceptively simple to the point of being elegant, went on to influence standards, products, markets. Starting with satellite communications, which was the way the university connected to the ARPANET. And then it influenced Bob Metcalfe as he wrote his dissertation, and then based Ethernet on the core concept of the Aloha protocol. Now, while this technical and market influence has been enormous, to me, the most meaningful impact has been on people's lives. And for me, it's been significant. Starting with financing my education, and then teaching me something about networks, and burnishing my resume significantly, so that throughout my career, I've benefited from this association. Starting with teaching network protocols at the university, then writing those protocols into early stage microprocessors, and then committing access methods directly into silicon for early semiconductors. And then investing in new companies building wireless networks, which were precursors to Wi-Fi. So Norm, 50 years ago, I came to the university because you offered me financial assistance. And it was Hawaii. And now I look around and our lives, our economy is built around network communications. Whether it's cellular or satellite, Ethernet or Wi-Fi, public, private, whatever it is, it's everywhere. And much of it is derived or inspired by Aloha. Norm and Frank, thank you. Might have been my first day at the university. I had spent the weekend after arriving in Hawaii preparing my curriculum or the courses I wanted to take. Looking at the catalogs, looking at the requirements, and I was ready. So I walked into Norm's office, who was my primary contact at the time. And I was full of vinegar and laid out what I wanted to do, and he listened and waited for a minute and said, you know, maybe you should leave some time for surfing. I nearly fell over. The last thing I ever expected someone at the university to do was think about my leisure time or my mental health. It was a good start.
Aloha, Norm and Frank. Thanks so much for putting a University of Hawaii on the map. My name is Wayne Shiroma. I'm currently the chair of the Department of Electrical Engineering, but more importantly, I'm a UH alum. I was doing my bachelor's degree here between 1981 to 1986. And in fact, Norm, you were my professor for EE 211 and later on EE 441. So you could say that thanks to you, I learned Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's voltage law, and I am an electrical engineer thanks to you. From all of us in the department, aloha.
Aloha everybody, my name is Ramchandran. It gives me great pleasure today to say a few words on the occasion when the ALOHAnet project that came out of University of Hawaii under the supervision of Professors Norm Abramson and Franklin Kuo is being recognized as a milestone event by IEEE and the scientific community. They broke so much new ground and made so many fundamental discoveries that they richly deserve this recognition. I came to University of Hawaii after the ALOHAnet project was over. I met Professor Abramson soon thereafter, and that began a very long period of collaboration between me and him that has lasted to this day. Professor Norm Abramson is best known for his discovery of Aloha channel protocol. When you have a large number of geographically separated and uncoordinated users sharing a common channel, he suggested why not let each transmitter transmit at will. He also came up with a very elegant and seemingly simple derivation for the throughput of that channel. That was in a landmark paper in 1970. That opened a floodgate of research in this new area, and that has continued to this day. In the project, they also built a packet radio network connecting the various Hawaiian islands. Imagine sending digital packetized data over a wireless channel over 50 years ago. That is the reason why the Aloha Packet Radio Network is recognized as the first modern data network. Today, even in course of common conversation, many people drop networking jargon as if it is part of English language. Therefore, we need to pause and recognize that some of the most important networking standards such as Ethernet, Wi-Fi, DOCSIS, which is the cable modem standard, WiMAX, etc., they all owe their origin to the Aloha channel protocol. As a matter of fact, even the mobile standards such as 3G, 4G, 5G, LTE, they all use a variant of Aloha channel for call setup and contention. So I want to congratulate Professor Norm Abramson and Franklin Kuo once again. I also want to congratulate the University of Hawaii College of Engineering on this occasion. Shows what a great place University of Hawaii is for both education and research. Today, I'm even more proud to say that I'm a University of Hawaii alumni. Mahalo.
As an electrical engineering student at UH Manoa, I performed poorly in the classroom. Nevertheless, the foundations and fundamentals taught by Dr. Abramson and Dr. Kuo stuck with me throughout my career. I recall Dr. Kuo singling me out for failing an exam. The folks I hung out with could not understand why I did not perform well on exams. One student replied to Dr. Kuo that John would rather go surfing like Dr. Abramson. I excelled only in hands-on laboratories. Other students would cringe whenever Dr. Abramson or Dr. Kuo would look in our direction to have me explain a concept or solve the problem I had just gotten wrong on the exam. Of course, I could rattle off the answer without an error, but written exams on exam day and I did not get along. The key point with Dr. Kuo was his emphasis on fundamentals. Memorizing the equation was not as important as the fundamental concept. This was a key factor to me actually performing well at Stanford, especially with the novel and new level-sensitive scan design VLSI techniques that I incorporated into satellite and undersea systems. It also led to my novel algorithm development and hardware architecture for the parallel pipeline polygon processor for n-sided polygons. Another memory I have of Dr. Abramson is that he would walk around Holmes Hall either barefoot or in slippers. Even I didn't do that. I'm proud of all I have accomplished professionally, including being the only engineer in the world to have my specific set of engineering and wireless related certifications including an FEIT and IEEE wireless communications professional, and having the honor to speak as an IEEE distinguished lecturer and a presenter at the annual CWNP conference. The never-ending quest for knowledge emphasized by Dr. Abramson and Dr. Kuhl has led to my current position as lead technologist for a prestigious technical management consultancy as their subject matter expert in wireless, cellular, free space optics, and translational acoustic RF communications. My accomplishments would not have been possible without the foundational education provided to me by Dr. Abramson, Dr. Kuhl, and the UH College of Engineering.
Hello, I'm Vince Cerf. I'm Google's Chief Internet Evangelist, and it's an absolute pleasure to be part of this celebration of the ALOHAnet, and especially to say hello to Norm Abramson and Frank Kuo, who of course were the originators of this innovative project, and from which so many things have arisen, Ethernet being an obvious one. But the whole idea of working with radio and packet communications eventually inspired Bob Kahn and others to work on the mobile packet radio system in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, which of course was part of the internet program and which drove us to develop protocols that would overcome a lot of the deficiencies that come along with radio communication. So to have this IEEE milestone planted firmly where it belongs at the University of Hawaii is a special treat to see happen. So thank you all for being there. I'm sorry I can't be there in person, but this is really a special event. So congratulations to all of you. Bye for now.
Hi, this is Bob Metcalfe talking to you from the state of Maine, which is about as far as I can get from Hawaii. But I did want to join the celebration of ALOHAnet, and particularly to, after 40-some years, 48 years, a number like that ago, that Norm Abramson and Frank Kuo were kind enough to host me for a month-long visit at the University of Hawaii in Manoa to study the ALOHA system, and in particular the use of randomized retransmissions for packet stations to take turns sending. In any case, we adopted the ALOHAnet randomized retransmission scheme, and then we improved it a little, and what came out was Ethernet, which has been a great success, like ALOHAnet in general. So I'm here to say hooray, thanks for all that help so long ago, and best wishes. Bob Metcalfe signing off.
Norm, I hope this little video brings back memories of your pleasant times surfing in Waikiki. Aloha.